The galaxy's most secure containment facility just went into full lockdown. Alarms screamed through every corridor. Armed guards flooded the halls with weapons drawn. Scientists evacuated in pure panic. The reason? Their deadliest predator had escaped. This wasn't just any creature. This was a Vorathian Reaver, a monster so dangerous that 17 civilizations banned even talking about it. A beast that could tear through reinforced steel like wet paper. Its claws could slice a combat mech in half. Its bite force measured higher than a starship hull compressor. But here's what nobody expected. When the security team finally tracked the creature down, they found something impossible. A human toddler, barely 3 years old, sitting on the Reaver's back, riding it like a pony at a birthday party. The child was laughing. The Reaver was wagging its tail, but the truth behind this will shock you. Because this wasn't a freak accident. This wasn't a lucky miracle. What happened in that facility revealed something about humans that terrified every alien species in the known galaxy. Something that changed intergalactic law forever. Here's what you're about to discover. First, you'll learn why this creature was considered so deadly that 3 planets evacuated just from rumors it might arrive. Second, I'll show you the exact moment security cameras caught what this toddler did that should have been impossible. And third, you'll find out what happened when alien scientists studied human children afterward and discovered something in our biology that made them question everything they knew about apex predators. This story starts with one escape. But it ends with the entire galaxy realizing humanity might be the most dangerous species they'd ever encountered. And it all began because a 2-year-old boy named Tommy wandered away from his father during a station tour. The facility was called Station Apex 7. It orbited a dead moon in neutral space. Governments from 40 systems funded it. Its mission: study the galaxy's most dangerous creatures. Learn from them, maybe find weaknesses, maybe develop defenses. Nobody thought a human child would teach them their biggest lesson. Let me show you exactly how this happened. Station Apex 7 wasn't open to tourists, but Captain David Chen was different. He'd saved the station director's life during the border wars. So when David asked to bring his son Tommy for a quick visit, the director said yes. 1 hour. Supervised tour. Stay in the safe zones. David worked as a cargo hauler. He traveled between systems delivering supplies. Usually Tommy stayed with David's sister on Earth. But this month, school was out. Tommy wanted to see space. David thought seeing the research station would be educational. The Vorathian Reaver lived in Cell Block Omega. Triple reinforced walls, energy barriers, armed guards at every checkpoint. The creature stood 12 feet tall, covered in black scales harder than starship armor. 6 eyes that could see in 17 different light spectrums. Claws that dripped with toxins potent enough to kill most species in seconds. The Reaver had been captured 5 years earlier. It took a fleet of ships. 20 soldiers died in the operation. The creature fought for 6 hours straight without tiring. When they finally sedated it, the dose was enough to knock out a herd of Toddlerian battle elephants. Scientists called it Subject 09. The galaxy called it a nightmare. It came from Vorathi's Prime, a death world where everything evolved to kill. The Reaver was the apex predator there. It had no natural enemies. It feared nothing. Here's what made it special. The Reaver possessed pack-hunting intelligence. It could plan ambushes, set traps. It learned from every encounter. Guards rotated every 3 days because the creature memorized their patterns. It tested the barriers constantly, looking for weaknesses, waiting for chances. Alien security experts studied it obsessively. They wanted to understand ultimate predatory behavior. The Reaver became the gold standard for measuring danger. When evaluating new species, scientists asked one question: is it more dangerous than a Vorathian Reaver? The answer was usually no. But here's the surprise nobody saw coming. The Reaver had one weakness. It wasn't a physical weakness. It wasn't something you could exploit in combat. It was psychological. Deep in its predatory brain, the Reaver possessed an instinct that scientists hadn't discovered yet. That instinct would save Tommy's life. The tour started normally. David held Tommy's hand. They walked through the observation decks. Tommy pressed his face against the glass. He watched a Glacian ice serpent swim through frozen methane. He giggled at a three-headed Borrelian songbird. Everything was safe, controlled, educational. Then Tommy saw the bathroom sign. He was potty training. He told his dad he needed to go. David pointed to the restroom. It was 15 feet away, right across the hall. He could see the door from where he stood. "Go ahead, buddy. I'll wait right here." Tommy nodded. He walked toward the bathroom. David turned back to read an information display about the Glacian serpent. He looked away for 45 seconds. When David turned back, Tommy was gone. Now here's where things get really interesting. Station alarms don't sound like Earth alarms. They pulse with a deep frequency that vibrates through your chest. When David heard it, he knew something was catastrophically wrong. Red emergency lights flooded the corridor. Blast doors started closing. A computerized voice announced, "Containment breach, cell block Omega. All personnel evacuate immediately." David's heart stopped. Cell block Omega. That's where they kept the Reaver, and Tommy was missing. David sprinted down the hallway. He screamed Tommy's name. Security guards rushed past him, going the opposite direction. They weren't running toward the breach. They were running away from it. That's when David knew how bad this was. Here's what had happened. Tommy hadn't gone to the bathroom. He'd seen something more interesting. A maintenance door was cracked open. Inside, colorful wires glowed in the dark. To a 2-year-old, it looked like Christmas lights. Tommy wandered inside. The maintenance tunnel connected to the primary power grid. Tommy followed the pretty lights. He turned left, then right, then left again. He was completely lost within 60 seconds. But he wasn't scared. He was on an adventure. The tunnel system was enormous. It ran throughout the entire station. And Tommy's random path led him straight to cell block Omega's sub-level. He emerged through a vent, right into the Reaver's containment area. The security failure was catastrophic. A technician had been upgrading the cell's monitoring system. He'd disabled the secondary barriers for exactly 8 minutes. Standard procedure required 2 technicians for this job. But the station was understaffed. Budget cuts. The director had complained to headquarters for months. When the tech stepped away to grab a tool, the Reaver saw its chance. It had been watching this maintenance routine for weeks, learning, planning. The creature moved with surgical precision. It slipped through the gap in the barrier, silent as shadow despite its massive size. By the time the alarm triggered, the Reaver was already in the maintenance level. Free. Hunting. And Tommy had just climbed out of the vent 20 feet away. The security footage captured everything. The cameras showed Tommy standing in the corridor, covered in dust from the ventilation system. The Reaver rounded the corner, moving low, predatory, its 6 eyes locked onto the tiny figure. Here's what should have happened. The Reaver should have attacked instantly. Its instinct was to kill first, investigate later. That's how apex predators work. Humans know this. We've been running from predators for millions of years. Our ancestors who hesitated became food. The ones who survived passed down one lesson. When you see a predator, run. But Tommy didn't run. He didn't scream. He didn't even look scared. He pointed at the Reaver and said, "Doggy." The Reaver stopped, its head tilted. Confusion registered across its alien face. In 5 years of captivity, nothing had ever reacted this way. Guards feared it. Scientists studied it from behind barriers. Other creatures in nearby cells cowered when it roared. But this tiny creature showed 0 fear. Tommy walked forward. His little legs wobbled slightly. He reached up with both hands. making grabby motions. The universal toddler signal for pick me up. The Reaver lowered its head. Its nostrils flared. It sniffed the child carefully. Tommy giggled. The creature's breath probably tickled. Tommy patted the Reaver's snout. Good doggy. Something clicked in the Reaver's predatory brain. Some ancient instinct that scientists didn't know existed. The creature didn't see prey. It saw something else entirely. But if you think that's crazy, wait until you hear this. The security team reached Cell Block Omega 4 minutes after the alarm triggered. They came prepared for a massacre. Plasma rifles charged, stun grenades ready. A medical team waited outside with emergency equipment. The team leader was a Croathan named Commander Vex. He'd served in 3 wars. He'd faced death dozens of times, but when he rounded that corner, he froze in complete shock. The Vorathian Reaver sat in the middle of the corridor, perfectly still. Tommy sat on its back, gripping the creature's neck ridges, bouncing slightly, making hoarse sounds. Giddy up! The Reaver's tail swished back and forth, like a happy dog. Commander Vex spoke into his comm. His voice cracked. Director, you need to see this. I don't have words. Within minutes, everyone watched the live feed. Scientists, security personnel, station director. Even Captain David, who'd been restrained by guards to stop him from running into danger. They all saw the impossible. Tommy slid off the Reaver's back. He toddled over to a wall panel, pressed some buttons. The panel dispensed a protein bar. Standard station snack. Tommy unwrapped it, took a bite, then held the rest up to the Reaver. The creature's massive head lowered. It gently took the food from Tommy's hand, careful not to touch him with its teeth. The same teeth that had crushed combat armor, the same jaws that had killed trained soldiers. Tommy patted the Reaver's leg. Good doggy. Here's what nobody understood at first. Why wasn't the creature attacking? What made this situation possible? The answer came from Dr. Sarah Mitchell, the station's xenobiology expert. She watched the footage 17 times. Then she realized something incredible. The Reaver was exhibiting parenting behavior. Stay with me here. This gets wild. On Vorathis Prime, Reavers are pack hunters, but they're also devoted parents. Females lay eggs once every 5 years. Both parents guard the nest aggressively. When the young hatch, they're vulnerable for their first 6 months. Parents protect them constantly. Baby Reavers have specific features: large eyes relative to body size, uncoordinated movements, high-pitched vocalizations. These features trigger protective instincts in adult Reavers. It's hardwired into their biology. Attack anything that threatens the young. Protect at all costs. Here's the shocking part. Human toddlers trigger the exact same instinct. Think about it. Tommy was small, proportionally large eyes, uncoordinated wobbly walking, high-pitched voice. To the Reaver's ancient brain, Tommy looked like a baby, not prey. Baby. But there's more. Human children have something special in their biology. Scientists call it the cute response. It evolved to make adults want to protect us when we're vulnerable. Big eyes, round faces, small bodies. These features aren't accidents. They're survival adaptations. This works on humans, obviously. But research showed it works on lots of mammals, too. Dogs, cats, even predators like wolves sometimes adopt other species' babies. The instinct to protect something small and helpless runs deep in many creatures. Nobody suspected it worked on alien predators, too. Dr. Mitchell pulled up more footage. From different angles. She showed the team something they'd missed. Watch the Reaver's body language, relaxed posture, slow movements, careful behavior around Tommy. This was identical to how Reavers acted around their own young. The creature had literally adopted Tommy, recognized him as offspring to protect. The galaxy's most dangerous predator had become a babysitter. But here's what made this truly terrifying for the aliens. It wasn't just this Reaver. Dr. Mitchell ran simulations. She pulled data from hundreds of apex predator species, ran comparisons against human child features. The results shocked everyone. 73% of known apex predators showed potential parenting trigger overlap with human children. Nearly 3/4 of the galaxy's most dangerous creatures might instinctively protect human kids instead of attacking them. Commander Vex spoke what everyone was thinking. You're telling me human children can accidentally weaponize apex predators? Dr. Mitchell nodded slowly. Not intentionally, but yes. A human toddler might walk up to creatures that would kill trained soldiers, and those creatures might protect the child instead. The implications crashed through everyone's minds like a starship collision, but the immediate problem remained. How do you separate a 2-year-old from a monster without getting the child killed? This brings us to the most shocking discovery of all. They tried everything. First, they pumped sleeping gas through the ventilation. The Reaver sniffed the air, immediately picked up Tommy, moved to an area with different airflow, protecting the child from the gas. The creature was smart enough to recognize threats Tommy couldn't detect. Next, they tried distraction, released a training drone, made it move like prey. The Reaver ignored it completely, kept one eye on Tommy the whole time. Nothing mattered except the child's safety. Captain David volunteered to go in. He's my son. He'll come to me. Commander Vex agreed. But under strict conditions, David wore full armor. 6 guards positioned nearby with weapons ready. They'd shoot the Reaver the instant it showed aggression. David stepped into the corridor. He called Tommy's name softly. Tommy looked up. His face lit up. "Daddy!" He started running toward David. Arms outstretched, the Reaver moved instantly, blocked Tommy's path. A low growl rumbled from its chest. The creature positioned itself between Tommy and David. Defensive posture. It didn't see a father. It saw a potential threat to the baby. Tommy didn't understand. He tried to go around the Reaver. The creature gently used its tail to guide Tommy back, keeping him close, safe, protected. Tommy pouted. "Daddy." David's heart broke. His son was 15 feet away, but he couldn't reach him. One wrong move and the Reaver might attack. Or worse, it might flee deeper into the station with Tommy. They could lose both of them in the maze of corridors. That's when Dr. Mitchell had an insane idea. She'd been studying Vorathian pack behavior for years. She knew something nobody else remembered. Reavers don't hunt alone. They hunt in packs, with clear hierarchies: Alpha, Beta, Omega. Each member knows their role, and Reavers submit to pack leaders through specific behaviors. She explained it to David quickly. On Vorathis Prime, when a higher-ranking Reaver wants another to release young to them, they perform a specific ritual. Crouch low. Make yourself smaller. Extend one hand slowly. Make a specific sound. A low-frequency hum. David stared at her. "You want me to submit to a predator? Show weakness? You want your son back?" David didn't hesitate. He dropped to one knee, made himself as small as possible. He extended his hand, palm up. Non-threatening, then he tried to make the sound Dr. Mitchell described. It came out wrong at first, too high-pitched. He tried again, deeper, from his chest. The Reaver's ears perked up, its head tilted. Recognition flickered in its 6 eyes. David held the position, every muscle screamed. His instincts begged him to run. Millions of years of human evolution told him this was suicide. Predators kill weak prey, never show vulnerability, but David held steady. He hummed the frequency again, deeper, more confident. The Reaver took a step forward, then another. It was working. The creature lowered its head, sniffed David carefully, processing information, making a decision that would determine if Tommy lived or died. Tommy watched from behind the Reaver, confused but quiet, smart enough to sense something important was happening. Then the Reaver did something extraordinary. It stepped aside, lowered itself flat to the ground. Submissive posture. It had accepted David as Pack Alpha, the higher-ranking member, the one with authority over young. David didn't waste a second. He scooped Tommy into his arms, held him tight. Tommy hugged back. "Daddy, I found a doggy." The Reaver remained still, watching, making sure the young was safe with the Alpha, its biological programming satisfied. The baby was with family now, higher-ranking family. Everything was correct according to pack structure. Commander Vex whispered into comms, "Get them out, now, slowly." David backed away, step by step. The Reaver didn't move, just watched with those 6 eyes. When David reached the blast door, security pulled them through. The door slammed shut. Engaged locks, energy barriers activated. Tommy waved over David's shoulder. "Bye-bye, doggy." The crisis was over, but the real story was just beginning, because every alien species in the galaxy was about to learn something terrifying about humanity. So what does all this mean for us today? Within 12 hours, every major government in the galaxy received the full report. Security footage, Dr. Mitchell's analysis, complete biological breakdown of what happened. The response was immediate and severe. The Galactic Council called an emergency session. Representatives from 200 civilizations attended. They watched the footage of Tommy and the Reaver. Some species found it adorable, others found it horrifying, but everyone agreed on one thing. This changed everything they knew about humans. Ambassador Kelvin represented Earth. He'd expected a normal diplomatic meeting. Instead, he walked into a room full of terrified aliens. They had questions, lots of questions. "Do all human children have this ability?" a Zentari delegate demanded. "Is it trained, genetic modification, biological weapon?" Kelvin explained as calmly as possible. No modifications, no training, just natural human biology. Children look the way they do because of evolution. It helped human adults want to protect them. Nobody knew it worked on alien predators too. But the aliens didn't see it as innocent. They saw tactical implications, military applications, strategic advantages. Think about it from their perspective. Humans could potentially control the galaxy's most dangerous creatures. Not through weapons, not through technology, through children. The Krathan Empire immediately proposed restrictions. They wanted humans to register all children traveling off Earth, track their movements, prevent them from accessing certain zones. For safety, they claimed. Earth refused. "You want to treat our kids like weapons. They're children, not soldiers." The debate raged for weeks, but here's what everyone missed in the BARPA. Chaos. This wasn't really about controlling human children. It was about fear. Deep, existential fear of what humanity represented. Let me explain. Every species in the galaxy had their thing. Chronathians had superior strength. Zentari had telepathy. Drellians could survive in hard vacuum. Humans seemed average, nothing special. Decent intelligence. Okay physical abilities. We'd been in space for barely a century. But this incident revealed something aliens found disturbing. Humans had an unconscious ability to trigger protective instincts in predators, not just Reavers. 73% of apex species. That meant in most combat situations involving animals or alien creatures, humans had an invisible advantage. Think bigger. What if humans colonized a death world? The creatures there might protect human settlements instead of attacking them. What if Earth deployed soldiers to predator-heavy planets? The local wildlife might become accidental allies. This wasn't planned. Nobody designed it, but it existed. Dr. Sarah Mitchell published a paper 3 months later. She'd studied the phenomenon extensively. Her findings made things worse. Human children weren't the only ones with this effect. Adult humans triggered it too, just weaker, but still present. The paper explained why human explorers had unusually high survival rates on dangerous worlds. Species that should have killed them sometimes hesitated, sometimes approached carefully, sometimes even helped. Everyone thought humans were lucky. Turned out we had a biological advantage nobody recognized. Military strategists on both Earth and alien worlds ran simulations. What if humanity weaponized this? What if they bred humans specifically to maximize the cute response? Created superchildren who could control any predator? It sounded like science fiction. But after Tommy and the Reaver, nobody was sure what was possible. Here's what actually happened. Earth established strict protocols. No human children in xenobiological facilities. Better safety measures everywhere. Clear guidelines about human contact with unknown species. The goal was proving humanity had no intention of exploiting this ability. But privately, Earth's military was absolutely studying it. Of course they were. Every nation with human citizens wanted to understand this advantage. Not to weaponize necessarily, but to know what they had. Knowledge is power. The galaxy adapted slowly. Stations upgraded their security. Zoos and containment facilities banned human visitors under age 15. Insurance rates for facilities holding humans jumped dramatically. The economics of interspecies interaction changed almost overnight. Tommy became famous accidentally. His face appeared in xenobiology textbooks. Universities studied him. Scientists wanted to understand why his effect was so strong. His dad just wanted him to have a normal life. Good luck with that. But there's a deeper lesson here that most people missed. The incident proved something uncomfortable about intelligence and power. Sometimes your greatest advantage isn't what you planned. It's what evolution gave you accidentally. Before we wrap up, there's one final thing you need to know. 6 months after the incident, something strange started happening. Zoos across the galaxy reported unusual behavior. Predators in captivity became agitated, pacing their enclosures, making distress calls. Xenobiologists couldn't figure it out. The creatures were healthy. Environment was stable. Nothing had changed. Then a researcher on Station Kepler 9 made a connection. The agitation started exactly 6 months after the Tommy incident went public. Right when every facility implemented human restrictions. No children allowed. Limited human contact. Here's the twist nobody expected. The predators weren't agitated because humans were dangerous. They were agitated because humans were missing. Let me explain. After Dr. Mitchell's paper, hundreds of facilities reviewed their historical data, looking for patterns. What they found shocked everyone. Predators in captivity lived longer when humans worked nearby. They showed lower stress markers, better health outcomes, fewer aggressive incidents. It wasn't dramatic. Just a 3 to 7% improvement across all metrics, but consistent. Reproducible, undeniable. One researcher proposed a theory. Maybe the cute response worked both ways. Maybe when predators saw humans, especially young humans, it triggered parenting instincts that reduced their stress, made captivity slightly more bearable, like a therapy animal. Except we were the therapy animals. For them. The Galactic Council received this data. Long silence followed. Then someone laughed. Not happy laughter. Ironic laughter. The kind when the universe reveals a joke you didn't know you were part of. Humanity spent 6 months being feared as potential predator controllers. Weapons waiting to be weaponized. And the whole time, we were actually making the predators calmer, healthier, better adjusted. The restrictions got quietly lifted. Facilities invited human visitors back, especially facilities with children's programs. Zoos across the galaxy started advertising family-friendly tours. Attendance went up. Animals did better. Everyone won. Tommy's now 8 years old. His dad still works as a cargo hauler. They travel together. Visit stations. Tommy doesn't remember much about the Reaver incident. Just vague memories of a big creature. His friends at school don't believe his story. That's fine with him. But here's what David told me when I interviewed him for this video. He said the scariest part wasn't when Tommy was with the Reaver. It was after. When he realized how close he'd come to losing his son. Not because the Reaver was evil, because the universe is complicated. The Reaver was sent back to Vorathis Prime, released into the wild. It never belonged in a cage. The station upgraded everything. New procedures, better security. They still studied dangerous creatures, but with more respect, more humility. Station Apex 7 now has a memorial in its main corridor. Not for anyone who died. A reminder. It reads, "Intelligence means understanding what you don't know. Wisdom means respecting it." Dr. Sarah Mitchell won awards for her research. She consults with zoos and facilities galaxy-wide, helping them understand the human-predator connection better. She says the Tommy incident taught her something crucial. Evolution doesn't care about our plans. It works in its own ways, creates solutions to problems we didn't know existed. The galaxy's relationship with humanity shifted. We're not feared as predator controllers. We're valued as strange ambassadors between civilization and wildness, beings who bridge gaps nobody else can. And it all started because a 2-year-old named Tommy thought a galaxy-class predator looked like a doggy. If this opened your eyes to how strange and wonderful the universe can be. Let's recap what we discovered. First, human children trigger parenting instincts in alien predators through pure evolutionary accident. Those big eyes and small bodies that make human adults want to protect babies work the same way on creatures from across the galaxy. Second, this ability isn't unique to kids. Adult humans have it too, just weaker. It explains why human survival rates on dangerous worlds are higher than expected. Third, the galaxy's initial fear of humans as predator weapons transformed into appreciation when everyone realized we make captive creatures healthier and calmer. These revelations changed interstellar law, modified safety protocols, shifted how every species thinks about humans. All because one toddler wandered into the wrong corridor at the wrong time. Or maybe the right time. Depends on your perspective. But there's a bigger lesson here. The universe is full of connections we don't understand yet. Systems within systems. Patterns we haven't recognized. Tommy and the Reaver showed us that apex predators and innocent children share unexpected common ground. What else don't we know? What other bridges exist that nobody's discovered? Think about Earth's history. We domesticated wolves into dogs. We tamed horses, built relationships with dozens of species. We thought it was human cleverness, superior intelligence. But maybe it was partly this biological advantage, this unconscious trigger we carry in our appearance and behavior. We didn't conquer animals through strength alone. We did it by making them want to protect us. That changes everything about human exceptionalism. We're not special because we're smarter. We're special because we accidentally evolved features that make other species care about us. It's humbling, powerful, and slightly hilarious when you think about it. If you found this story fascinating, hit that subscribe button. We dive deep into humanity's weird advantages in space. Next week, I'm covering the Titan colony incident where human laughter accidentally diffused a hostage situation with insectoid warriors. That story gets even stranger than this one. Drop a like if the image of Tommy riding a Vorathian Reaver made you smile. I mean, come on. A 2-year-old on a galaxy-class predator yelling, "Giddy up"? That's pure gold. Comment below and tell me this. If you could have any apex predator from Earth or space as a protective companion, what would you choose? Would you go with something classic like a tiger, or alien like a Reaver? I'm curious what everyone thinks. Let's get a good discussion going. For those who want to go deeper, I've created an extended documentary. 20 extra minutes of interviews with Dr. Mitchell, Commander Vex, even Captain David. Behind-the-scenes footage from Station Apex 7. Unreleased security camera angles. It's available to channel members. Join the membership. Support this content. Get access to exclusives you won't see anywhere else. I'm also building a community Discord. Space enthusiasts from around the world. We discuss HFY stories, share theories, break down the science behind crazy incidents like this. Link is in the description. Come hang out. Here's my final thought. Tommy's story reminds us that the universe doesn't work the way we expect. Our assumptions about power, danger, and survival get challenged constantly. What looks like a monster might become a friend. What seems like weakness might be strength. Stay curious. Stay open. The cosmos has more surprises waiting. The galaxy thought humans were ordinary. Tommy proved we're anything but, not through weapons, not through technology, through something as simple as a smile and the words, "Good doggy." Who knows what other secrets evolution built into us? What other advantages we carry without knowing? The universe keeps teaching us, if we're smart enough to listen. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Stay curious out there.